This morning, police are looking for a man who may have talked to a child in a Middleton park. What we know about this person of interest.
Plus, a dramatic rescue from inside a house fire, what we know about the fire, and the moment officers pulled someone out.
And we're checking in with Madison. Ahead, what we know about a new AI course and how they're using laughter to help train med students.
Well, good morning, and thanks for tuning in to News 3 Now this morning. I'm Michelle Renee Quinn, filling in for Chris Stanford, alongside meteorologist Savannah Brito.
And I'm Kyrie Ann Lee. Thanks for waking up with us. Good morning.
Happy Friday.
Yes, we made it to Friday, almost the weekend. Do you guys have any plans?
You know, I might be actually going to the Hard Rock Casino to see my friend fight.
Okay, so making a little drive over to Rockford.
Mom's coming up. We're going to go to one of those Chris Kindle markets.
Aw, cute.
Yes, you know, we kind of fly by the seat of our pants, but we do plan to go check out the Olin Park lights. So we plan to do the lights and then probably get a visit to Santa in.
There
so we
you
have
go.
we're building up all the things
stuff.
here.
I've been to the lights already this year. They are beautiful, even better than last year, so much to look forward to.
Yeah.
And even better, you get to be inside of the car to look at them.
And there'll be snow. I went when there was no snow, so I feel like it'll give that little Christmas vibe a little
razzle
extra.
dazzle.
All right, tell us a little more about that snow.
Yes, we got a couple more chances on top of what we've already seen the weekend after Thanksgiving, and on Monday we have a chance today, and then we also have a chance Saturday night into Sunday. It's still cool out there this morning, 16, cloudy, and we will see the snow later in the morning for areas northwest of Madison. I think for us, we're really looking at a time frame after lunchtime, closer to dinner, 4, 5, and even 6 p.m. And that snow, once it reaches Dane County, will break up a little bit compared to it being a little bit more widespread up by the Camp Douglas area, La Crosse, and Black River Falls. And hey, we finally got the mid to upper 20s that return to the forecast. Still colder than normal by close to 10 degrees, but a lot better than the teens we had yesterday for the afternoon temps, and even the morning when we fell to -3. That was the coldest temperature we've seen in 288 days. So at least there's no sub-zero temps in the forecast this morning or over the next couple of days.
What a silver lining.
Exactly.
Thanks, Savannah. With continued cold temperatures, several nonprofits are making sure the unhoused are safe and warm.
Overnight, hundreds went to the men's emergency shelter, and to prepare for that all day, organizers put out beds for those who will sleep there until about 8 this morning. The shelter's manager says he will do all he can to keep everyone warm.
In this building, we will never turn anyone away. We have the possibility to accommodate as many people as possible, even if some will have to sleep in chairs or be inside in the warmth. At least we're able to provide some safety and warmth in this shelter.
The shelter also says that they make sure everyone who comes has coats, gloves, and hats after they leave.
This morning, Middleton police are asking for your help after what they describe as a suspicious interaction between a man and a child at a park. Officers say it happened Wednesday near Stricker Park. A man in a car went up to a child and started talking to them. He's described as white, between 20 and 30 years old, with a mustache and slim build. The man was wearing a red coat, black hat, driving a dark-colored SUV. A bystander may have been jogging in the area at the time and witnessed this interaction. But if you have any information on this, contact Middleton Police.
Well, take a look at this. We have new video from the dramatic rescue of a house fire in the village of Raymond, just south of Milwaukee. So let's take a closer look.
You got her? Got her. Come here.
That's newly released footage of officers pulling a 4-year-old girl from a smoking house, saving her life. Unfortunately, the fire claimed the life of a mother, a dog, and sent the child to the hospital, but she is recovering. Investigators say the fire is under investigation, but nothing criminal. Well, 6:03 now to some national news. Making headlines this morning, we're learning how federal investigators cracked a nearly 5-year-old case of 2 pipe bombs left near the Democratic and Republican headquarters on January 5th, 2021.
Police arrested 30-year-old Brian Cole Jr. in Virginia yesterday. An affidavit alleges purchase records show Cole bought components of the bombs in 2019 and 2020. DOJ court filings also show his phone was in the Capitol Hill area at the time the bombs were placed. He was also there a week earlier. The bombs were placed the night before the January 6th riots and found on that day. The DOJ has not said whether Cole had any connection to that event, and investigations into the motives are ongoing.
This morning, there will not be any trial against New York's Attorney General Letitia James. This comes after a federal grand jury decided not to indict her on bank fraud charges. This would have been the second case against James after a federal judge tossed out her original case last month. That case centers around a property James bought in Virginia and ended up using as a rental home. She has denied all wrongdoing, and it's unclear if the Justice Department will try to indict her a third time.
The National Guard will now remain in the nation's capital after a federal appeals court halted a lower court's decision requiring them to leave the city. That decision came after Washington, D.C.'s Attorney General's office sued the Trump administration over the deployments. The judge in that case then ruled those deployments were illegal. The appeals court notes that the new 21-day pause will allow them to have more time to consider if they will fully strike down the judge's orders.
The Wall Street Journal is reporting that Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth and a former Navy admiral were not always on the same page. Admiral Alvin Halsey had rose concerns about the legality of the military strikes on suspected drug boats prior to his October retirement. Two Pentagon officials tell the Journal that Hegseth had asked for Halsey to resign as the leader of Southern Command prior to Halsey's announcement. The Pentagon has not yet commented on the matter.
This morning, a new architect will now be working on the White House ballroom. A senior White House official says the previous architect had clashed with President Trump over the scope of the project, particularly the size of the ballroom. However, two White House officials denied that he was fired and said he will instead be a consultant now. This comes as multiple sources say that the ballroom is expected to be larger than initially planned.
Meanwhile, the Government Accountability Office is now launching a probe into Federal Housing Finance Agency's director, Bill Pulte. Senate Democrats accused Pulte of misusing his authority after he pushed for several Justice Department mortgage fraud investigations while also making himself chairman of Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. The White House says he is a loyal advisor to the president and that efforts to create division in the Trump administration won't work. Let's turn now to some local news. The UW's Board of Regents has planned a plan to create a College of Computing and Artificial Intelligence.
The move would recognize UW-Madison's School of Computer Data and Information Sciences. UW leadership says the new college reflects an increase in demand for work already done within CDIS. This as a brand new CDIS building opened this school year. Enrollment in computer science majors have more than doubled since 2015, rising from 1,043 students that year to over 3,000 this year.
Turns out laughter is the best medicine, or at least a good way to train med students. For the last decade, UW School of Medicine and Public Health has used improv classes to help med students with their communication skills. The class encourages students to get outside their comfort zones, laugh, and better connect with patients and peers.
We don't have a script. We don't know exactly the right thing to say. And the more that you build this muscle of, oh, okay, I do have some things to say. I have my ability to be present, to listen, to actually collaborate in the moment, not knowing necessarily where it's going to go.
I'm so over this. Two papers have been published detailing the success of the approach. They found that students who participated in the class improved in making others feel at ease, showing care and compassion, and creating a plan of action.
Tomorrow, Community Action will host its 12th annual Gingerbread Extravaganza. It's a Fruzen Middle School from 10 a.m. to noon, and this major fundraiser supports Community Action's programs in Rock and Walworth counties. There will be gingerbread decorating, a visit from Santa, and more, and you can also donate to the cause at community-action.org.
And also happening today, Gigi's Playhouse Madison is breaking ground on its new Fitchburg location. Nonprofit leaders say this is a transformational moment as it prepares to expand its support for individuals with Down syndrome and their families. The ceremony begins at 2 p.m. at 2693 Botanical Drive. That's just off Lacey Road.
And if you're headed out to that cutting this morning, Savannah Brito is ready to plan your day with those temperatures. Good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, it's cold this morning, just not as cold as what we had yesterday, and temperatures are going to quickly warm compared to the lower to mid-teens most of us only saw even even in the afternoon yesterday. That's where most of us are starting our morning out this morning, but keep in mind there still are a little bit of a wind chill factored in, making it feel like the single digits across most of southern Wisconsin, which will show those current ones coming up in Maine weather. 18 at 10 in the morning, and then temperatures are going to climb in the mid to upper 20s later this afternoon, but that's also when we're tracking a chance of light snow showers. We'll talk about who has the best chance of seeing that snow coming up.
Savannah, thank you. Coming up, the Packers are preparing for a double whammy this weekend, the Chicago Bears and the cold weather. Ahead, we'll see how Matt LaFleur feels ahead of the game.
And a new study links early smartphone use to serious health risks in children. How long researchers say you should wait before giving them these devices.
You're watching News 3 Now this morning. Moving forward.
Welcome back. In your morning health watch, a new study warns that giving a child a smartphone at an early age could raise the risk of some health issues. So when is the right age? Researchers say you should not give your child these devices until they are at least 12 years old. Otherwise, they could be at risk of a higher risk of developing depression, obesity, or insufficient sleep. While the study did not look into why this happens, Dr. Ron Barzilai says there could be several potential mechanisms.
More time on smartphone may be related to less time during, for example, physical activity, something that can protect both from obesity and is also good for one's mental health.
He also says smartphones can also play a major role in social connections in teens, and that it's important for parents to balance the positive and negative effects when possible.
Could a good marriage keep you from putting on weight? New research by UCLA Health found that people with strong social relationships, especially in good marriages, had enhanced activity in the part of the brain that manages cravings and appetite. As a result, people with more emotional support from others tend to have a lower body mass index and fewer food addiction behaviors.
See, this is interesting because, you know, like if you're married or you're with a significant other, you're going on a lot of dates, maybe going out to eat, maybe cooking nice meals.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I've always heard of happy weight, not necessarily maintaining.
right. Me
yes,
too.
But I guess it could go either way. This is one study. So there you go.
Let's check in now with Savannah Brito live from our studio in Madison, tracking your current temperatures.
Good morning, guys. We have a warmer start than yesterday, but still colder than what's the average in Madison. 16, 13 in Monroe, 17 in Lone Rock. Most of us are in the mid to even upper teens right now, and that's where we topped out yesterday afternoon. So overall, a little bit warmer today. Even the afternoon will bring us cooler temperatures compared to normal, but better than what we had overall yesterday. -3 is the wind chill in Monroe, 1 degree in Watertown, -3 in Juneau, 4 in Madison, 1 in the Dells. So these are already better than yesterday as well. Some spots were as low as -15 to -20 with sub-zero air temperatures across half of the area. So we've got the teens. We'll slowly see temps rise, lower 20s by the lunchtime hour, and then actually topping out probably in the mid to upper 20s, which is about 8 or 9 degrees below average. The snow that we're going to see not going to come until later. So yeah, this morning mostly cloudy, and then we'll have the clouds even thicken up more by late morning, early afternoon. La Crosse and Black River Falls could see that snow. That'll reach Viroqua, Camp Douglas, and areas near the Dells and Watoma, the closer to about 1-2 to 2:30. For us in Madison, that does look to break up. So you saw a little bit more prominent snow showers northwest of here, but then a light band of snow will move in with scattered snow showers by about 5 to 6, even 6:30 in Madison before moving out. We'll see a break before another band of snow moves in, not until tomorrow evening, and that's going to be for Viroqua, La Crosse, Black River Falls, and Camp Douglas tomorrow evening about 8 p.m. For us, that'll reach us the closer to midnight that we get, and this you can see much more widespread and a lot deeper shades of blue. That'll come into the early morning hours of Sunday. The closer to daybreak we get, that system moves out of here, but a couple of slick spots likely. As far as how much accumulation we're expecting, I think for Madison and areas northward, trace amounts from the system today. Saturday into Sunday, I think we have a better chance of seeing a couple of inches of snow, and that mainly for areas west of Madison that could see localized 3 to even maybe as high as 4 inches of snowfall. That's again Saturday night into Sunday. This only goes out until Sunday at 6 p.m. Some of us southeast of Madison probably only going to pick up trace amounts up to an inch with that snow. The next chance after that, yeah, we've got several chances over the next about week. Comes Wednesday, so midweek next week, and then a dip in temperatures to follow that again Thursday and Friday next week.
You can take that 24-4 record and throw it out the door. It is NCAA tournament time for Wisconsin volleyball, who hosted Eastern Illinois at the Fieldhouse last night. Bucky drew a 3 seed, so the first and second rounds are under their roof. And Mimi Collier nearly brought it down in the first set, throwing down one of her 10 kills that tied a game high. And later, her running mate, Charlie Furbringer, the sophomore setter and her fellow first-team All-Big Tenner. She's been gnarly with those serves, puts the ace right in the Panthers' face. And how about this? Later, Una Vajagic says if at first you don't succeed, try again. The redshirt sophomore, who also had 10 kills, helps the Badgers make quick work in round 1, sweeping it 3-0. And some bad news for the Bucks and Giannis. I'm not talking trade rumors. I'm talking injury. That right calf injury that the Greek Freak suffered on Wednesday night, it's going to keep him out for 2 to 4 weeks. That's your morning sports fix. Have a fantastic Friday.
You too, Andrew. Turning now to the Packers, this weekend is set to be one of the biggest matchups of the season as the Chicago Bears head to Titletown.
But this comes as the cold weather is set to move in on the Midwest. News 3 Now's senior Packers writer Jason Wilde reports about how Coach Matt LaFleur feels about the cold.
Good morning, everybody from Lambeau Field. It is not warm here. It will not be warm here on Sunday. In fact, if you look behind me, the Packers have their heating system for the field going full bore as I talk to you. They will be doing that all the way up until game time against the Bears on Sunday here at Lambeau. That is a factor in how this game will play out. Packers fans know that that is one of the biggest strengths they have here at Lambeau Field is the weather. Of course, they're playing the Chicago Bears. They have a little bit of a cold weather front in their area as well. That's why Matt LaFleur says it's critical that the Packers win the weather battle.
I think it's critical. I mean, our ability to get outside and get on the grass, I think that's crucial. I think it's more of an advantage when the other team can't practice in it. So it's kind of like it's negligible this week. It doesn't really matter because Chicago's in the same environment. So, but I do think it's critical just in terms of because everything feels a little bit different. And so you got to get used to that.
We'll have more about the weather and everything else you need to get ready for Packers Bears on Sunday on our website, channel3000.com. And while you're there, make sure you sign up for the Packers newsletter, which delivers our coverage directly to your inbox every single day. In Green Bay at bitterly cold Lambeau Field, Jason Wilde, channel3000.com.
All right, I'm sure the adrenaline will be pumping for lots of Packers and Bears fans across the state for sure.
Absolutely. This is the competition that we've been waiting for. It's always fun to see Chicago and Wisconsin come together. Yes, exactly.
Yes, it'll be a big one. Well, still ahead, we're revealing Oxford's Word of the Year and the National Day bringing relaxation to the end of your week.
And do you want to know what's in your drinking water? Coming up in the next half hour, resources now helping you better understand well water test results.
Are you shivering?
It's chilly.
It's cold.
It's really cold. I'm sorry.
Teeth chattering, goosebumps,
Yeah, all the things. Well, here's what's trending this morning. Rage bait was named Oxford University's Word of the Year for 2025. That's described as the feeling of a person that they get when reading something online that appears to purposely incite anger or get a reaction. And so that's your Word of the Year.
Yeah, people should not be posting rage bait anyways. Why do you want to just upset people? Why is that somebody's mission?
Sometimes
we should post kind bait, or
Good luck.
You know,
Maybe that's the word of 2026.
I don't know, something to like make people happy. Why are we making them angry for no reason?
Yeah.
I've never used this word though. Have
Yeah.
you guys?
I haven't used rage bait, but I have seen it frequently on the internet. Well, today is National Bathtub Party Day, and take a look at this video here.
Oh,
In a suit. That's cute.
So for adults, I would say there's a national day for everything, but for adults specifically, the benefits of a quiet soak add up quickly. A steamy bath during cold and flu season can help clear up sinuses, improve oxygen intake, and boost circulation. And warm water also reduces inflammation, sore muscles, achy joints, and stress, and you can get some relief with all of that. So, I guess if you want to get away for a few minutes, take some relaxation,
absolutely.
soak in a bath.
Especially anybody who was working outside at the beginning of the week, you know, if you're doing a lot of shoveling, if your body's sore, you know, some Epsom salts in the bath will also help relieve those muscles.
Is that what, so you just sound like she's speaking from experience.
I was gonna ask if you're an Epsom salt bubble bath or bath bomb.
Oh, I like my Epsom salt.
Okay.
Lavender.
Yeah.
Okay.
Calming scent, guys.
Yeah,
Yup.
yeah.
There you go.
Stress relief. All right. Well, we've got a couple chances of snow, so might want to take a bath just because of the cold and just bitter, chilly weather we're dealing with. We'll be right back.
This morning, Congress demanding information on controversial boat strikes. The orders an admiral is now clarifying.
Plus, the DNR launching a new online tool to help people understand their water quality. A look at the site and other resources it provides.
You know, hopefully that all my teammates are all, role models for these guys.
And spreading the love, how the Packers QB is helping out his local community.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to News 3 Now this morning on your Friday, December 5th.
There you go.
Yes. We've arrived. It's Friday, so if you thought, the week was looking a little rocky, you've arrived.
You made it.
Yep. Yes. Okay, so I'm speaking to the people, so we always ask like this question, like when it's really hot and then when it's really cold, would you rather be hot or would you rather be like really cold, like if you have to be outside?
Rather it be 100 degrees outside.
I want to hear it. I want to hear it. Have you changed your mind?
No, I always say I would rather be cold because I can always add layers, but I'm not going to look ridiculous on air with a blanket and a cardigan and everything else to stay warm,
Oh, so you're saying it's cold in here?
Yeah.
It is cold.
Space
Am I allowed
heater.
to say that?
Yeah,
It's a little
cold. Yeah, it's a little bit cold in here.
We know you'd rather deal with the heat though, right?
Yeah, if I had to deal with it outside, I think I'd just rather deal with the heat, honestly. It's going to be cold outside, especially for people headed to the Packers and Bears games. Savannah rocking her Packers green this morning.
This is not Packers green.
Yes, it is.
No, evergreen green is
Okay, well, it's
Packers
close
green.
enough.
No,
We know how much you love 'em.
No. This is like Christmas green. I got the red socks on. No, we're rooting Bears all the way this weekend. Sorry for any Packers fan this morning, including Michelle Renee. We're at 16 right now this morning. Cloudy, a lot better than yesterday, but it is still a brutally cold morning, so definitely bundle up. Maybe not the green this morning. We're going to see the mid to upper 20s later this afternoon, and that's also better than what we had yesterday. A lot of us only reached the mid-teens, which was almost 20 degrees below average. Today's forecast high in Madison, 27, and we do have some snow showers that are going to move in later, not the morning, but in the afternoon. And for Madison, I think a little bit later, we'll talk about how much of an accumulation we could see, and also when our next chance after today's snow will come.
Savannah, thank you.
To our top stories, lawmakers are demanding answers this morning following a briefing on the controversial boat strikes in the Caribbean.
This comes as Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth faces scrutiny over his role in the attack. In a closed-door meeting, U.S. Navy Admiral Frank Bradley told Congress Hegseth did not order troops to kill them all, contrary to earlier reports. Lawmakers were shown that a second strike followed after survivors emerged from the first. Opinions among lawmakers remain divided on the justification of the strike.
What I saw in that room was one of the most troubling things I've seen in my time in public service.
I saw two survivors trying to flip a boat loaded with drugs bound for the United States back over so they could stay in the fight. And potentially, given all the context we heard, of other narco-terrorist boats in the area coming to their aid.
Now, Democrats want Admiral Bradley to testify publicly. However, the Pentagon hasn't said if that will happen voluntarily. Hours later, the Department of Defense released new video of what it says is another strike, this time of a boat carrying illegal drugs in the Eastern Pacific. 4 people were killed in that strike.
The CDC's vaccine advisors are set to vote this morning on potential changes to the hepatitis B vaccine guidelines. After a postponed vote and a contentious meeting, they'll decide if the vaccine should be administered to newborns when the mother's virus status is negative or unclear. Discussions will also cover vaccine ingredients and timing on the childhood schedule.
In local news, a Beloit man could spend up to 65 years in prison for sexually assaulting 2 girls. A judge found Isaiah Washington guilty of first and second degree sexual assault. In April of 2024, a 13-year-old girl told police Washington assaulted her in Janesville. Later that year, an 11-year-old girl reported he assaulted her as well. Both girls testified at trial, and DNA evidence linked Washington to the crimes. Sentencing is set for February 20th.
New this morning, we're learning more about how Wyoming police rescued a missing Wisconsin teen this week. Police arrested 2 men after responding to an alert. They stopped the men's car and found the Manitowoc girl inside. The men saying they were hired to take her to Utah.
When it comes to human trafficking, in this case, technology is what helped us find this girl and get her home safe. But so often we are so reliant in these cases, especially when it comes to human trafficking, on public tips.
They are both charged with kidnapping and interference in parental custody. The girl is back home with her parents.
In other national news this morning, the Trump administration is now reducing the amount of time immigrants with legal protections can stay in the U.S. The new rules say work permits will only last 18 months instead of 5 years. The administration says this is in response to last week's attack on Virginia National Guard members and that it will allow immigrants to be screened more frequently. The new policy will only apply to new and pending applications.
The Supreme Court now says Texas can use new redistricted maps during the midterms. The controversial congressional maps are expected to flip 5 Democratic seats to Republican. A lower court had previously blocked them, ruling they were based on race and likely unconstitutional. California later responded with new controversial maps that are expected to give that state 5 more Democratic seats.
This morning, prosecutors have released new photos of items found in Luigi Mangioni's backpack. Mangioni's defense argues this evidence should be dismissed in his state trial, citing a lack of a search warrant and failure to read him his rights. Mangioni, charged with the 2024 murder of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson, was apprehended in Pennsylvania 5 days post-incident. He has pleaded not guilty.
The city of Madison is seeing success in its building energy savings program as it wraps up its 2nd year. The effort requires buildings to track their yearly energy use and undergo periodic checkups. The goal is to spot waste and fix problems before they become expensive. City officials say most buildings are now following the rules and many are already performing better than similar buildings nationwide. Madison leaders call it a major step toward the city's long-term climate goals.
If you're a private well owner, the DNR has a new online tool to help interpret your water test results. The site is called Be Well Informed. It was developed in a partnership with the UW-Madison State Laboratory of Hygiene and other partners, and is tailored to Wisconsin's drinking water conditions and guidelines. The tool also links users to resources and treatment options based on their results. Wisconsin has more than 800,000 private wells, serving about a quarter of the state's population.
Now to the Packers, where one of their major players is making a big impact in his community. Quarterback Jordan Love stopped by Dick's Sporting Goods in Ashwaubenon to surprise 8 kids from Better Days Mentoring with a shopping spree. Teammates joined Love to help kids pick out new gear, made possible by the Hands of Love Foundation. It comes on the same day of the team's announcement that Love is their 2025 Walter Payton Man of the Year club winner.
It's always a great experience to be able to see their face, just interact with them. I know they get a lot out of it, and hopefully can carry that forward. And hopefully that all my teammates were all role models for these guys, and they can look forward to watching us on Sundays.
32 Walter Payton team winners will be recognized during Super Bowl week, with the national award announcement coming on February 5th. Sunday, the Packers play on one of their biggest matchups of the season. That's at 3:25 at Lambeau Field.
To Badger Volleyball now, who hosted Eastern Illinois in the first NCAA tournament game at the Fieldhouse. Bucky drew a 3 seed, so the first and second rounds are under their roof. And Mimi Collier nearly brought it down at the field house. First set, throwing down one of her 10 kills. That tied a game high. And later, her running mate, the fellow first-team All-Big Tenner, who has been gnarly with the serves, puts an ace right in the Panthers' face. And how about this? Una, who also had 10 kills, helps the Badgers make quick work in round one, sweeping it 3-9.
Well, bad news for the Bucks and Giannis. The Greek Freak will not play for the next 2 to 4 weeks because of a right calf injury. This amid rumors he would be traded.
So here we go again. There's been no conversations. And I want to make it clear, just for I would say one more time, but for the 50th time, it clearly is not getting the One Network, for sure. Giannis has never asked to be traded, ever. I can't make that more clear.
The Bucks play the 76ers tonight at 7. You can watch on our sister station, Television Wisconsin.
Check this out. Team USA's 2026 uniforms have been unveiled for their opening and closing ceremonies in the Winter Olympics in Italy. Ralph Lauren's company spent 2.5 years on them, and they are made entirely in the U.S. This is the 10th Olympics in a row Ralph Lauren has designed Team USA's uniforms. There's also a broader Team USA collection by Ralph Lauren available to the public. The line is now available at select Ralph Lauren stores across the United States, online, and in select department stores. So take a look at that. Got the red, white, and blue. It's given, got sweater weather. That's what it's kind of sporting there.
Getting ready for that Winter Olympics.
Yes.
It's not the same as the sparkly that we're used to in Summer Olympics, so
yeah,
I'll be waiting for the next round.
But the Winter Olympics always give you something different to talk about.
They do. And there's a lot of fun things that we don't get to see in the summer, like bobsledding.
Okay, there you have it.
I'm excited for that.
Yes, lots of winter activities you can do right here in Wisconsin, too. And it's going to be cold enough. And it looks like we're going to see a little bit more snow, too, Savannah.
Yeah, exactly. So anyone that is wanting to get out to those slopes, hit the slopes, definitely going to be able to do so with the snow that's in the forecast and some that's already been laid down. -3 was our official low recorded at the airport yesterday morning, and that was the first sub-zero night in 288 days. It was really cold. We're still cold this morning, just not nearly as bad as yesterday, but it's kind of breezy, so that factoring in a wind chill again, 24 miles per hour Madison, 20 in the Dells, as well as Camp Douglas. We're actually in the teens, and this was as high as our temperatures warmed to in the afternoon yesterday. So again, better day ahead on this Friday. We've got a lot of 16s out there, Watertown, Madison, Janesville, 17 in Lone Rock. When you factor in the wind chill, it feels a little bit cooler. Most of us are down to the single digits, and we again have another chance of snow to time out this afternoon and another one over the weekend. We'll talk more about those systems coming up.
Thanks, Savannah. Coming up in your consumer news, tech on the Christmas list. We'll tell you the types of tech that could make you healthier.
You're watching News 3 Now this morning. Moving forward.
Welcome back. The holiday shopping season is underway, and if you're wondering what to get at the toy aisle, experts recommend buying a few items kids will love. They say Legos are always a great option, even having some for kids as young as 2. But no matter the gift, always check those age requirements.
That age grading is not so much about the child's development level, because every child is different, but it's also about what's safe and easy.
Experts add to watch out for knockoffs and copycat versions and recommend reading customer reviews.
As for the grown-ups, tech items are always on the list. Alongside TVs and video games, wellness-driven tech is trending. This means things like smart rings, bands, and watches. Users can track exercise, heart rate, sleep and stress, and even detect medical conditions in real time. One sleep expert says 1 in 4 Americans now track their sleep.
If you wake up and you get a bad reading from your sleep tracker, it automatically prompts this process of reflection. What did I do yesterday?
Researchers say that while the gadgets are not perfect, if you find one under the tree, they could put you on track for better health.
This year, employers have cut more than 1.1 million jobs through November. Outplacement firm challenger Gray Christmas says that's the most since 2020. Back then, companies laid off more than 2 million people as the pandemic was hitting the U.S. economy. This time, Challenger says tech is driving the surge in job cuts, with more than 150,000 workers in this sector losing their jobs through November, a 17% jump over the same period a year ago.
Take a look at this. Samsung has unveiled its Galaxy Z tri-fold phone. So this ultra-thin device unfolds twice to reveal a 10-inch screen. It has enhanced AI features in the Gemini app, and customers will be able to get a 6-month trial on Google AI Pro. The Galaxy Z tri-fold will be available for purchase at select retailers in the United States early next year.
The shade Cloud Dancer has been crowned Pantone's 2026 Color of the Year. The organization, considered a top authority on color, forecasts trends and advises brands. Officials say Cloud Dancer is, quote, a billowy balanced white imbued with a feeling of serenity. Pantone's executive director added that Cloud Dancer also signifies people's desire for a fresh start. The Institute makes its annual decision after digging deep into current cultural references and then focusing on a color family.
All right, so there you go. If you need a fresh start, this is supposed to give you those vibes.
You know what? When it comes to clothing, I think this is probably an acceptable color. You know?
It blends in with everything.
Yes, it goes with everything. It works really well. Otherwise, you know, I just don't really see what is so special about.
I wouldn't like paint this like in the rooms of like, it'd be pretty bland in like for like a room of a house maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you're looking for that look, like crisp.
No, I'm not. I would not be personally, but
yes.
You know, everybody has to each their own. For 2025, I think we could have had a little bit of a brighter color. So maybe next year we'll see what 2026 brings.
Yeah, bright like green maybe, Savannah?
Mm-hmm, guys. Yeah, Christmas green. We're going with that, or like lime green this morning. It's better than our temperature map. I was blending in with that yesterday because of how cold it was. We had this deep purple because our wind chills were sub-zero across a lot of the area. Just at this point yesterday, now we're at 16 in Madison. There's some improvement and continued improvement on the way. 14 in Monroe, 15 in Wisconsin Dells this morning, and even that 21 in Prairie du Chien. But when you factor in the wind chill, most of us are waking up with one this morning. -1 still in Juneau and Monroe, 4 in Madison, 7 in Lone Rock. So a lot of us are in the single digits as far as what the wind chill, when you factor that in, what it feels like outside. But we do have a lot of thick clouds out there. That's going to set the tone for the day, with even a light snow chance later this afternoon and evening. Temperatures do climb in the mid to upper 20s, which is closer to where we should be, about 8 to 9 degrees still below average, but a lot better than the teens we had yesterday. So a lot of cloud cover as we approach yet this morning. 9 a.m. La Crosse, Black River Falls, Camp Douglas could start to see some light flurries, and then light to moderate snow showers for the Dells, Camp Douglas, Watoma, and Black River Falls as you head after lunchtime up until about 1 to 2 in the afternoon. But watch what this does when I put this in motion. Most of these snow showers start to break up. I think we're only going to be dealing with some scattered light snow showers, Madison and areas southeast. So basically north of Madison could pick up trace amounts, but not expecting much accumulating snow out of the first system. Now the second one I think could bring us a better chance. It's not going to arrive until about 8 p.m. tomorrow evening for Viroqua, La Crosse, Black River Falls, and Camp Douglas. So these both move in from the same direction from the northwest, but watch what this does. This is more widespread, and you can kind of see those deeper shades of blue, meaning that we could pick up some decent snowfall totals. Couple inches in the forecast for some areas, but I do think this will be moderate, maybe even heavy at times, and probably going to cause some slick spots out there. But that's going to come overnight Saturday into early Sunday morning, and as we head closer to daybreak Sunday, most of that moves out of here. So as long as the plows are going to be out there working ahead on that, I do think aside of the early morning hours Sunday, probably not going to see a lot. Definitely not going to see as much as what we just had last weekend, but there are some areas just directly to our southwest that are included in the purple and then even the blue. This is a winter storm watch for the Waterloo, Iowa area. That's Saturday afternoon into the evening. So maybe areas south of Madison seeing a winter weather advisory. Some counties get added to that. This is from the first snow, just trace amounts later today, and then Saturday into Sunday, this is what I was talking about. Maybe some areas picking up a few inches, trace amounts up to 2 inches, maybe a few localized 3 to 4 inches, especially if it takes a more northerly track. That would kind of be right about southern Wisconsin and areas north of the border, Illinois-Wisconsin border. We're down to 17 though only Sunday afternoon after that system, and then a couple days in the 30s Tuesday and Wednesday.
Savannah, thank you. Happening tonight, the Madison Symphony Orchestra is getting ready to perform its annual holiday show.
It should be a sight to see. The Mount Zion Gospel Choir, the Madison Symphony Chorus, 2 opera singers, and the Madison Youth Choirs will all be performing holiday classics. It's set to be conductor John DeMain's last performance as the music director, but there's still some first you can expect.
We're going to do the opening number from Elf with the high school kids, and then Kyle Kessel's going to sing You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch. And so we've never done those before.
Tickets are sold out for Sunday, but you can still see them tonight and tomorrow. There's still some time to get some at theoverture.org. I love a good holiday show. I really do.
Oh, me too. Me too.
Yes.
It's so lovely. And my undergrad, they did Christmas at Augustana, and it was always a magical experience. And this is Madison's version of that. So everybody, if you are going, I hope you enjoy it.
Yes, get out there and support those local people in those choirs, the orchestra, all the things. All right. Well, coming up in the morning sprint, a major shakeup to Hollywood just announced. We'll have that just ahead.
But first, if you have a little kid turning 3 soon, let us know so we can wish them a happy birthday and share their picture. It's 6:54, time for the morning sprint.
Just into the newsroom, Netflix has announced it's acquiring Warner Brothers and HBO in a $72 billion deal. This is Warner Brothers Discovery is moving forward with plans to split into 2 publicly traded halves next year. Netflix will acquire the Warner half, the TV and movie assets like HBO Max streaming. Discovery Global will house CNN and other cable channels.
A Navy admiral says Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth did not issue an order to kill everyone on board a suspected drug smuggling boat near Venezuela. The admiral spoke with lawmakers yesterday in a classified briefing about the attack in September. Members of Congress demanded answers after learning survivors were killed in a second strike on the vessel.
The Packers have named quarterback Jordan Love as their 2025 Walter Payton Man of the Year Club winner. 32 Walter Payton team winners will be recognized during Super Bowl week, with a national award announcement coming on February 5th. The Packers are getting ready to play the Bears at 3:25 on Sunday at Lambeau.
Bad news for the Bucks and Giannis. The Greek freak will not play for the next 2 to 4 weeks because of a right calf injury. This amid rumors he would be traded. The Bucks play the 76ers tonight at 7. Watch on our sister station, Television Wisconsin.
It's still cold, but not as cold as yesterday morning. And the good news this afternoon, we're going to see a high of 27. Our average high is the mid-30s, so we're still cooler than that. The only days we'll really see the 30s is Tuesday and Wednesday. That'll be closer to normal. We've got a couple of snow chances and a cool Sunday ahead of that. The first chance is later this afternoon and evening. Not going to see much, but then tomorrow could bring us a couple of inches across southern Wisconsin, that being the evening and overnight hours into early Sunday before we drop to 17.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And thank you guys for watching. Up next is CBS Mornings.
Have a great weekend.